You know, business debt can feel like rocket fuel for growth, right? But what happens when you read the fine print just a little too late? We're going to dig into the hidden dangers by looking at a real life, multi-million dollar legal battle that every single business owner needs to understand.
So our story starts right here with this official court seal. And look, this isn't some textbook theory. This is a real document from a real court case where one of Canada's biggest banks made a move to seize control of several businesses that just couldn't pay back their loans.
And here is the number at the very heart of it all. Over $1.5 million. Yeah, that's how much four Popeyes franchises owed to the Royal Bank of Canada. And that, right there, set the stage for a massive corporate showdown.
So you've got this banking giant on one side and four pretty popular fast food franchises on the other. I mean, it seems like a pretty standard business relationship. So how on earth did it break down so badly that the bank felt it had no choice but to go to court and try to take over everything?
Well, this wasn't a sudden thing. The bank didn't just show up one morning and demand the keys. If you look at the court documents, they reveal this really clear paper trail showing exactly how this whole conflict escalated, step by step, over many, many months.
Okay, so this timeline really lays it all out. It kicks off in October 2024 with demand letters for about $1.3 million. A month later, they kind of agree to a temporary truce. It's called a forbearance agreement, basically to give the businesses some breathing room. But by February, that agreement is up, and still nothing has been paid. The situation just gets worse until finally, in August, the bank goes to court.
So what happens when all the letters and all the agreements just don't work? Well, a secured lender, like a big bank, has this incredibly powerful legal tool they can pull out. They can go to a judge and ask them to appoint something called a receiver. Now, it is so important to get this straight. A receiver is not just some tough debt collector. They are an agent of the court itself. They have the full legal power to completely take over a company's property, its operations, all of it, just to make sure that lender gets paid back. And just look at the kind of power we're talking about here. It's wild. They can literally walk in and change the locks on the doors. They can decide to run the business themselves or just shut it down completely. They can sell off every single asset, handle all the legal stuff. Basically, they completely replace the original owners. So where does all this incredible power even come from? It's not magic. It comes from a contract that was signed way back at the very beginning of the loan, the General Security Agreement, or GSA. This is the piece of paper where the business promises everything it owns as collateral. And this, right here, is where the story gets so much bigger than just one lawsuit. This is where it becomes a huge warning for any entrepreneur who's ever even thought about buying used equipment, because the power of that GSA, it can reach way beyond the person who actually signed it. So let's just play this out. Imagine you're a small business owner, and you find this amazing deal on a used deep fryer from one of these struggling Popeyes locations. You pay cash, you get a receipt, you haul it back to your restaurant. You own it now, free and clear, right? Well, maybe not. This quote just nails the shocking reality of this whole situation. Even though you paid for it, even though it's sitting in your shop, if the original owner defaults on their loan, the bank can legally come to your business and take that equipment back. Just like that, your money is gone, and so is your deep fryer. The legal tool that makes this all possible is called a blanket lien. Remember that general security agreement we were just talking about? Well, that's what creates it. It's a legal claim that acts like a blanket, covering every single thing the business owns and making it all collateral for the loan. And here's the really scary part. This is incredibly common. These blanket lien clauses are standard in so many business loans. A seller might honestly think they own a piece of equipment outright because, hey, they paid off the loan for that specific item. But a blanket lien from a completely different loan could still be attached to it, just lurking in the fine print. Okay, so I know this all sounds pretty terrifying, but it's not a hopeless situation. So how do you actually protect yourself from this hidden danger when you're out there buying used business assets? There are 3 simple, proactive steps you can take. First off, try to buy from a reputable, authorized dealer whenever you can. Second, and this is a big one, always do a formal lien search. And third, you have to demand a clear and complete paper trail for whatever it is you're buying. Let's just zoom in on that second step, the lien search. In the US, it's often called a UCC search.
It's basically a search of a public database to see if there are any official claims, or liens, attached to the seller's assets. Now, it's not 100% perfect, but it is the single best way to find these hidden dangers before you hand over any money.
Because at the end of the day, the law puts all the responsibility on the person buying the item. It's the classic definition of buyer beware. So taking these steps isn't just, good advice. It's absolutely essential work to protect your money and your business.
So, the next time you're tempted by a great deal on a piece of equipment, a vehicle, or any other asset, just ask yourself this: what invisible threads might be attached to this thing? Because knowing the answer could be the difference between a really smart purchase and a total financial nightmare.